Thanks, one, Peter. Probably a lot of you like me used to come down here in years gone by in May weekend, and you would hear a lot of good orators and a lot of good speakers from the left movement on May weekend. This weekend it's full of Estelladas and saltires, which is nice. I wonder what happened to that Labour movement. Some years before I saw the light of morning, the comradeship of Labour was made. With true ideas and values strong, they were going to put the right wing right, they were going to put right all the wrongs. And some of them did some wonderful things, built world famous caring institutions with true ideas and values strong. They threw the red flag, they sang the red flag, they had a people's party singing people's songs. Viva la Quinta Brigada, no passaran the pledge they proudly made, as they saluted their socialist forebearers, paid tribute to the sacrifices of the international brigades. Now this is your chance, self-appointed guardians of the Labour movement's proud traditions. Do you hear the echoes of the days of 39? Now's your time to make a principled stance, now that Franco's spirit is on the rise. So where are you, Labour sisters and brothers? Were you watching that state-sponsored violence? Where were you who sang out brashly and bravely, now conspicuous by your contemptible silence? Where are those raised fists now, British Labour, at democracy in Europe being destroyed? Did you even raise a collective eyebrow, British Labour? Because we never even heard you raise your voice. Oh, the few dissenting individuals spoke up. The many stayed resolutely mute. Did you not want to condemn those shaven-headed Nazis that were reenacting fascist beatings and salutes? Or did you just decide that really you simply had more affinity with that other People's Party, Rajoy's establishment self-protectors, with their slush fund, their box B, their parallel accountancy, than be common men and women for the grassroots communities? Was it when you ditched the red flag, defected to Thatcherism in your groves? Was that when you became the shrinking violets who preferred to wave the new red rose? We'll stand by our allies, the Tories today maintain, singing, they are our good friends, those right-wing rulers of Spain. Well, no, in my name. That's the same language their predecessors used to condone and shelter Pinochet. So sell us today, Party of the People, Labour, have you anything to say? Now we've got three people who know a hell of a lot more about the Catalan situation than I do. But what I have learned is there are so many parallels, scary parallels. These guys are living it. From the Catalan National Assembly, we've got Claudia Loza with her friends, Mark and Carmen. Let's hear about Claudia.
Good afternoon, and thank you for inviting us in this very special event. We are members of the ANC, the Catalan National Assembly, a grassroots organization formed by civil society members from all political views in Catalonia in order to achieve independence. Our former president, Jordi Sánchez, has been in jail since last October. Catalans and Scots, we share the same path. We want to decide our own future, and we believe that the best way of doing it is by having our own country. We are here today because we want to show our solidarity towards you. We are here because we support the right of all nations to decide their own future, and that prior to any country, there is the will of the people. Today's demonstration makes us remember all the demonstrations that have taken place in Catalonia every 11th of September, when millions of Catalans have taken the streets like you and have marched peacefully together to express their desire to become an independent state. Nowadays, people in Catalonia are demonstrating against the repression of the Spanish state and to claim freedom for all the political prisoners. As you know, As you know, after years of mobilizations, in September 2015, pro-independence parties obtained a majority of seats in Parliament. The government, headed by the President Carles Puigdemont, approved a law to have a referendum on independence and called all Catalans to vote on the 1st of October. The Spanish government put all mechanisms in place to prevent out voting. 10,000 police officers from all over Spain came to Caledonia to remove ballot boxes from every polling station. The referendum was violently repressed, and today we are still paying the consequences. Since that day, 2 grassroots leaders and 9 members of government are in jail. 7 members of the government are in exile, all of them charged with rebellion and sedition crimes. No trials have taken place, and Euro orders of extradition have been for MPs. In addition, 700 mayors have been called to court just for facilitating the referendum. The Spanish government has suspended our government and forced to have new elections last December. The results of the elections gave an overall majority to pro-independence parties, but the Spanish government is preventing us from having our elected President Carles Puigdemont. Citizens like us are being called to trial just for participating in demonstrations like you do, and strikes as well. One of them was accused of terrorism, rebellion and sedition just for blocking a road. Teachers have been accused just for talking with their pupils about the referendum day. The level of repression is escalating gradually. They are using them as an example to prevent Catalan civilians from protesting. Although we feel support of civil society around Europe, we do not have the same feeling towards European governments. Their silence is damaging our democracy. We need your support. We believe you can help us in many ways, and that by doing it, you will work towards a more democratic Europe. Please ask your political parties to be more vocal against the repression from the Spanish state. We need you to support Clara Ponsatí, our former Minister of Education. She is here in Scotland, but the Spanish state wants to extradite her. If the UK extradites her, she will go to jail, accused of rebellion, just because she did what the Catalan society asked her through elections. Because of her and the Catalan government, we were able to vote on the 1st of October. That's why they want to put her in jail. Here in Scotland, a Catalan Defence Committee has been set up by Scottish people that support us. They are doing a great task, and some of us are members of it. We know we can count on you. We have seen it through several mobilizations that have taken place in Scotland. We feel very grateful, and we believe that this solidarity will make us stronger. Thanks very much for inviting us, and siur alupa gu bra.
Hope those young people are allowed to stay here after Brexit. Okay, next guy up is from one of my favourite indie groups. There's always room for tea and cakes in the battle, isn't there? He's one of the founder, he's an ex-SNP councillor, and also a founding member of English Scots for Yes, which is a great movement, and they're always just ready to clamp people that play that freaking racist cardways, don't they? Okie dokie, he does what he says on the tin. English by birth, Scots by choice. Matthew Sturgis.
Hi folks, you actually got my name wrong. I'm Matt Campbell Sturgis, and if the double-barreled name and the accent and the introduction didn't give the game away, I'm English. And I'm one of the founders, like you said, of English Scots for Yes. For those who haven't heard of us yet, we're the pro-indie group for English people that live here in Scotland. There's 400,000 of us. And our job for the last 4 years has not only just been to persuade them 400,000 that we should vote yes, it's also been to tell the rest of the nation that no, there's no anti-Englishness in the Yes campaign. The Yes movement, as our motto put it, because it's not about where you were born, but where we are going together as a country. Sadly, the same could not be said of that other referendum. The xenophobic attitudes we've seen from a minority since the Brexit vote has been sickening to behold, and it's made me just a wee bit ashamed of the nation of my birth. We've seen people intimidated and attacked on the streets, communities split. We've seen the Tory government in Westminster have Home Office goons tell friendly letters to Europeans telling them to get out. But those were just accidental though, just like the ones they said to the deported people from the Windrush generation who've lived there for 30 years. But oh, sorry about that, that was just a wee accident. Truly it's been a tale of two referendums. One joyous, civic, outwards looking at our place in the world, hoping to make Scotland a better place for everyone regardless of origin, and the other a dark Orwellian dystopia where foreigners are despised, alliances are broken, bridges burned, and money seems to be the only thing they care about. Friends, we need to tell Westminster that here in Scotland we don't burn bridges, we build them! In the last month, we've seen the UK's weakest ever Prime Minister stage an audacious power grab. Her European legislation has only one purpose: to keep her in her job. In 2014, we told people if they voted no, Westminster might try and take back devolution. We told them we were told we were scaremongering. The vow would protect Scottish devolution. How wrong that was. Their plans for the Scottish Parliament would effectively shutter the place for 7 long years, where they can pass any laws they like affecting Scotland, and if we say nothing, it means yes, and if we say no, it still means yes. This is the party of the rape clause, remember. We've seen a Home Secretary fall on her sword just to protect the real villain of the piece, the woman who allowed the Windrush deportations in the first place, Theresa May. To coin a phrase, it's mayhem. This dystopian nightmare sadly isn't limited to our own shores either. We just heard, over the last year, armed police were beating people for voting, locking them up, exiled an entire government and jailed innocent civilians in Barcelona. Today we stand with our brothers and sisters in Caledonia as they resist. As they stood with us 4 years ago, we're with them now, as a second darkness looks set to cover their land. Rajoy's armed police can stop people voting. They can steal ballot papers. They can shut down the media, jail protesters. They can lock up an entire government. But the one thing they cannot do is stop the people believing in independence. And friends, we still believe in independence here in Scotland. Look around you. Despite the growing darkness here and abroad, there are opportunities for us here. Brexit seems destined to do the one thing they did not manage to do in them sunny days in this very city 4 years ago. Deliver us from the darkness and into the light of an independent, free Scotland. The chance is there, it's ready for us if we are but bold enough to take it. Over the last few months, Westminster has sought, as they have since the Brexit vote, to completely ignore the wishes and needs of the Scottish people by grabbing powers that are ours, by circumventing committees, threatening our Parliament to ensure that the disastrous vision of a hard Brexit comes true. A nightmare given form. We face being dragged out of the European Union, marched out of the single market, and the protections of the European Court of Human Rights stripped from us. Oftentimes the last bulwark against the vile machinations of the UK government against its own people, leaving us defenceless and alone. We must say no! No more! The line must be drawn here, this far and no further. We cannot, and I say to you today, we will not accept the future of our nation being decided in Westminster. Independence before Brexit. We must retain hope. It is our only defence against the tidal wave of despair. We did not seek, nor did we provoke this division with our European neighbours. We did not expect, nor did we invite the confrontation we now face with London, where they seek to undermine our Parliament. And yet, the true measure of a people's strength is how they rise to master that moment when it does arrive. We shall together build anew this nation of ours. We shall strive to fight against the darkness no matter the cost. We will do what is hard, we will achieve what is great. Engraved upon the walls of our Parliament are the words of Alistair Gray. Work as if you live in the early days of a better nation. Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt Campbell Sturgis.
Fresh and gay, the road and seeketh the lone, for their elf boys they sport and play.